Hello, Lynn Testoni.
Hello, Rachel Smith. Welcome back.
Thank you. We're The Content Bite, a podcast for creatives and freelancers and people who use their words
For a living.
for a living.
Which
What are we
is like
talking about today?
We're talking about creating packages for content clients and I guess even editors.
Yes.
We'll talk about
packaging,
that as well.
Yes, packaging your services or packaging content, which can be a really great way to make
Add
more
value,
money, add value.
Make more money.
Yeah.
It also makes you quite indispensable. I find that we've talked a bit about how you have to be nimble as a freelancer and be working different things. And having lots of different skills makes you really valuable and helps you to charge a premium too.
Yeah, I also it's sort of like we talked about retainers, I think, in the previous episode. And so packages are slightly different. It's, you could offer packages on your website if you wanted to. Some of the packages that I offer clients, they're generally small business clients who start out with a blog and they really want just a blog post a month or a week or whatever. But then you say to them, well, and they're usually clients that don't understand the marketing behind that.
Yep.
How do they then get traffic to the blog to read that post? Do they need to do their socials? Do they need an EDM to promote to their subscribers? Do they need subscribers? So a lot of the time, my job, I find, is educating those clients about what else they need. So you are essentially upselling them, but you're also helping them because...
And you're also making the content you're creating work more effectively by giving it a funnel to, as you say, to read the blogs or to do the socials, to direct them to their website.
And you want that person to be happy. You don't want them to be, think, well, I paid $300 for this blog post and, it's done nothing for me. So it really is about educating them into how all the pieces of puzzle fit together. And sometimes the way to do that is to say, well, I will package all this for you in one price. And because it might be a blog post, say it's a blog post on fly fishing, then you can say, well, I've written the post, so I know it really well. How about I do the teasers? What are your social platforms? And so you do the teasers for them, and you could offer to schedule them at a time.
You might help them source images.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing that can be a real time suckage thing for clients is, where do they get the images and how do they know that the images are going to work on their website and on their socials and in the EDM and everything. So you can say, well, I'll just take care of that for you. I'll add the image package on as well. So you can find the images. And I think we did a whole...
We had a whole podcast episode on finding images.
Where to find images. There's a lot of amazing stock images that you can find for free and low-cost ones as well. And then you can actually go into a package like Canva and you can resize the images into every size that you need and then package those up for the client, box them in a folder. So they've got the blog, they've got the images, they've got the, teasers for their socials. Already you've saved them hours and hours of work. Then you could say, well, how about we promote this post to your your subscribers with an EDM? Yeah. So all of that becomes a package, and it
makes a more cohesive strategy for your clients as well.
Yeah. And I think if it saves them a lot of time and they're really happy with the results and they get more engagement, they perhaps get some work through it or some new leads or whatever, they might say, hey, I want that package every month. And that's where you can start to bring in the retainer if you're working with them for, a long time and you just want to lock it in. But we also wrote about this on the Rachel's List blog. It was about I think the blog post is, should you offer packages to clients? And we talked about offering tiers of packages to clients. So you might have a package that's quite cheap and draws them in, but then another package has the other stuff that they actually want. So you sort of try and get them that way.
So with a lot of my clients, I work with a lot of photographers because they're using big companies, they're worried about copyright. So I organise really good photographers and I work with them and refer them. And I often package up, I call it project management of shoots. I do briefs. I organise, sometimes one of my clients, I organise photographers in 4 different states, like in New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, and even South Australia. And I package it all up, and they just call me and say, Lynn, we need to shoot something down in Hobart, and I find somebody and do it all for them.
How do you price that though?
I charge a project management fee basically on top of, I usually write it, and then I charge a project management fee on top of, about $100 an hour. And it just adds value, but it also means it all is cohesive. I'm already contacting the person to speak to them and to interview them. So to organise a photo shoot at the same time is not hard. In fact, it's easy for me to brief the photographer because I've spoken to the person, or that they're being interviewed, the case study.
That's why I think it's easier if you're proposing a package or trying to sell your services as a package to a client. It's so much easier for the client to say yes to that, because you already have that tone of the blog post to go into the socials, to go into the EDM, and it is, as you say, way more cohesive.
Yes.
For them to just get you to do the whole thing. But there are lots of different ways that you can package what you do. I mean, what if you're a PR? How could you go about creating packages?
Sometimes it's in PR, I think you do things like media releases. You sometimes do a standard call out. You might organise even things like
put a media list together.
Media list, or regular lunches, like organise one meet and greet a month, something with key media. You might organise like an annual showing of new products, something like that. So it's a bit more of a package like that. You can add on to it.
Or if you're like a freelance PR, you might have a package where you say, I'll write a media release, I'll do a targeted media list, I'll do distribution of that release, and I'll do follow-up. And that might be one whole campaign price that you then give to your clients, and people buy that as a package. The other package you could do, which I've done for clients, is a social package, and that would include image sourcing and resizing, writing all the blurbs, doing all the hashtag research, and scheduling if they want all the posts scheduled on their platforms, and then any engagement or community management.
With one of my social media people. Clients where I'm running their ad campaign as well. So they're doing an Instagram ad campaign, and I'm running that and just invoicing on top of. So I'm creating the content anyway, and I'm boosting it as well and managing that for them, so they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, see, that's where it becomes a bit tricky if you bring other people in, because often the package, you will do your bit, but then you might say, you actually really need some SEO here, or you really need some AdWords or some Google ads and some Facebook ads to, really...
So sometimes I put people in contact and introduce them, and then I charge a project management fee. Other times I actually outsource it, but I always tell the client, and sometimes... in theory, you can do something like they call clip the ticket. So if somebody, so you get a photographer at say $1,000, and then you charge $1,000 to the client and pay the photographer $800, and you clip the ticket of $200. But legally, you've got to tell the client that you're doing that.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's a legal thing. But a lot of people do that, particularly agencies. Larger agencies do that, so they subcontract. But you've always got to tell the client that you're clipping the ticket. So that's a legal thing. But a lot of people do that. And and it's basically you've got giving your client access to your little black book of contacts.
I will package stuff with other people and collaborate with other people for client packages, but I don't do that. I will basically, because there'll be other freelancers, so essentially I'll say this part of the package will be invoiced through that person. And so it's all very separate. But I suppose if you had a content agency, it would all just be under the one umbrella.
It's all into the one, but I usually itemise it separately on my invoice photography, and I do it with some things, particularly if it's a one-off. If it's a photographer I work with frequently with a big corporate, I introduce them and get them set up in the invoicing system. But if it's somebody I might use just once, like a stylist for a particular job, or maybe somebody I'm just hiring props from, I actually add it to my invoice. And then just put a project management fee.
So the big question that a lot of freelancers always ask us is, Should you put your packages on your website so that people could buy the package? I mean, that could be a way to go if you have like an e-commerce functionality on your website and someone can buy the package, get the information to you, and then you just do it. That could be a really great and easy way to make money and get a new client. Other people might have a rate card which lists all the services and what they charge and then has package rates for bundled services. Yep. That's what I do. I've got a rate card and it includes bundled packages for like common things that people ask me to do. But some people also don't like having a rate card because
I don't. I think it's great if you have a fairly simple sort of deliverable. Like you'll create a website that'll be maybe WordPress based and it'll be 5, it'll be an about us page, a contact us page, and you have it really clear. That works. If you're doing something that's a bit more open-ended, it's really hard because I find when I like writing a story, when I write articles, they vary because some articles need minimal research and I can do in 2 hours. Others will need 3 interviews, some verified sources and detailed expert information. So I'll charge a lot more and it really depends. So I tend to...
I'm erring on that side as well, like just on a case-by-case basis, quoting that way rather than giving a rate card. But it can be handy having a basic package one if it's a package they're looking for and you can just simply hand them that.
Something like an EDM works really well, especially, and just clarifying exactly what's in a package. Like, does that include sourcing images or are you going to supply images and then seeing what the images are like?
Yeah.
Or if you're editing is often a good thing to package up. Like if you're proofreading or editing something that's already created, that's often a good thing to package.
Okay, well, we have
come to the end of the next one.
Of the packaging episode. We're packaging it up and leaving.
So you're listening to The Content Bite with Lynn and Rachel, and you can find us on Facebook at The Content Bite.
Yes. Or you can email us thecontentbite@gmail.com.au. And
just .com.
Oh, is it just .com?
It's just
I don't even know our email address. Just ignore me. Lynn has her finger on the pulse. So we'll be back next week with a fantastic episode on newsletters and whether you should write one to your clients.
Yes.
Yeah, so I look forward to that, Lynn.
Yes.
We'll see you then. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.